Hey everybody, how's it going? It's Steven, GetMoneyMyrick here, and I am super excited because today I am bringing you the newest Magic the Gathering set. It's Zendikar Rising. It just got released on Magic Arena. I'm also excited because I'm going to be trying a new format for these videos. I'm going to be concentrating more on the draft portion rather than the gameplay portion, because that's ultimately what people want to see is how to draft the decks when you're in a limited environment. I am going to try and include a few highlights of some of the more exciting moments from the game, maybe some lessons learned after the fact, so stick around for those for sure. This will be my very first draft of Zendikar Rising, so you'll be learning along with me, and with that, let's jump right in. Okay, and here we go, our first Zendikar Rising draft. I don't know anything about rares. I haven't done as much research as I've done in the past on the commons. I know that I've heard the people at Lords Unlimited talk about the Black-White Cleric being a very strong deck. Don't love starting with the gold card. The dual face Moldal lands are going to be huge. This one enters the battlefield tap, which isn't as great. Okay, so we have one in green. Choose one. It's supposed to be choosing number. Put 2/1 target creature. So it's a fight spell and with kicker. So we're definitely going to be looking at that. That's a good removal spell. Kicker is one of the decks I am most excited about from what I've heard, and it feels wrong not taking this green land, but this just looks like a very powerful effect at rarity, at green rarity. We got a dual land. Don't care about any of those. So we have a kicker. Got like so subtle strike is maybe. Oh no. Could do a reclaim the waste and kind of stick with green. I don't know that that's really strong enough to consider doing. The blue-red dual land isn't exciting enough for me. So this is like a blue wizard spell. I don't really care too much about that. I think we're doing the subtle strike. It goes very well with the counters theme, right? If we get into black green counters, because we have this puts on counters, this puts on counters. So we've got some red, some more good black, some more good green, and then Lol Mage's Familiar, which is very good for kick spells. I think we're going to stick with that. I do like seeing the black removal and some good green here still. I am passing on the red land, so somebody's getting that. And this is where we're getting screwed. Actually, no. Okay, Risen Riptide is nice. And, I mean, it's still pretty late, but, I mean, pretty early. But even just seeing a kicker reward in blue is pretty nice. Yeah, nothing else is speaking to me. Sky 3-mana 2/3 flying defender with could get counters on it, but right now we're trying to get that blue-green kicker deck. I realize this is a blue spell that says kicker, but 3 mana, draw 2. So it's like a good divination. So I'm leaning between these two. Gonna stick with the creature. Again, we got another kicker spell, but it's just a combat trick that's relatively weak. Vanquish the Weak is the second best card in the pack after the green modal land, I would assume. Smite the Monstrous is okay. Molten Blast is also okay, but we're definitely taking this here. This is pretty dang late for a green double face card to be in. Although it is... Oh, and it ramps. Cool. I don't know if I stick with Dauntless Survivor or if I go to Field Research. We passed so many of these. Just take another creature. Don't love any of these. I don't think that equipment's very good. And we're getting all of the Dauntless Survivors you could ever want. So this is a pretty cool artifact that is all of the 4 creature types that care about party. It's also can help you fix your colors. So it seems like one of those picks that if you don't know what you're doing, you could always take that. Oh, wow. Wow, that is a great pickup right at the end of the packs here. I'm very happy about that. It really speaks to, I think green is pretty dang open. So that's exciting. 4 mana, 3/2, draw a card. What else could you ever want in life? Now, what I would love is some more kicker spells. So we saw all the other kickers. We'll go ahead and grab this. So it is. Four mana, 4/3. Swarm Shambler in battle with a +1/+1 counter. When a creature you control with a +1/+1 becomes a target with a spell and opponent. I mean, this has to be broken, right? Now I'm gonna read everything else, but I assume we're doing this. This would be a nice creature to wheel here. That's also good. One tap so I can get it. I mean, that has to be the pick, right? It dies to a lot of like X1 hate, but they have to have it right at the beginning. Taunting Arbor Mage. If it's kicked, claim the ways. Found. So 2 mana, draw a card. Whenever a land enters battlefield under an opponent's control, that player had another one. So it shuts down their stuff. We're going to take Jwari Disruption for sure. Yeah, the issue is we have this green counter package. So that's like a rogue blue card. This is a fixing in black. I think we take another Risen Riptide. So kicker 4. So for 7 mana, you get a 4/3 flyer. Now we have a lot of stuff with the Dauntless Survivor that we can put a counter on it, make a 3/4 flyer. Kicker, kicker, kicker. Oh, yes. Yes. We're doing it. Blue-green kicker. So when it enters the battlefield, if it's kicked, create a 2/2 blue Drake creature with flying. And just whenever you cast a kick spell, create a 2/2 creature with flying. So that's like a 1 mana enchantment. Just kick everything and make it work. So I'm definitely being pulled in 2 different directions with the +1/+1 counters, which is probably not the best. Target non-creature. So that's just like a 4 spike. 3 mana 2/3. I mean, these all seem bad to me. I guess this, just so I can survive. That's what we want. For sure. 3 mana 3/2 with a kicker that can bounce a creature. So, very good. Give me all of those. I don't know what's right here. Basically, I'm just trying not to die. I have so many Dauntless guys. The gaining 3 life is nice. So we're looking at Might-O-Marasa, just so we can kick anything. Or we also have this, but that's 7 mana, and this is 5 mana. No, I do not want this card. Why would it recommend this card to me? Can you believe that? So yeah, we do have a little package, like I said, with Dauntless Survivor and Skyclave Sentinel. Oh my god. Both of these wields? Oh my god. I don't know what the right choice is here. It's got to be this, right? Freaking heck. They're both so good. But this is cheaper and flexible and it's kicker, and that's what we want. The other card was definitely more powerful. But the other card was definitely more powerful. And it goes along with a lot of our counter stuff. But I think still, like, the more dedicated direction of a deck is going for the kicker. I have not been paying enough attention to my creature types. But yeah. I mean, I think we're definitely in open colors. Based on, especially green, based on how late we saw both of those. I almost picked that by accident. That's awesome. I mean, I think we're just going, it seems insane, but I think we're going for the Sentinel just because it has kicker. The Rabbit Bite is nice. Gotta take the dual-faced land. Scute Swarm, landfall. Wow. Or Lonely, just familiar. 3-mana 1/1. This just seems, I mean, this dies to Subtle Strike and you're just completely blown out. And maybe we come and wield the Draga Visionary. I mean, we're going for it, that's for sure. That is for sure. How many is too many? I don't know. Oh, it has kicker. Each opponent mills 8 cards. It's supposed to mills half their library. That's probably not what we want to be doing, but it does say kicker on it. I'm thinking we want this. Yeah. So this can pick up our dual lands. Wow, green is just so open. This is like, I mean, this is just so much more powerful, right? Even though we don't have quite as many kickers spells as I'd like. I mean, there's just so many green rares we're seeing. Holy shit. Can you believe this? Wow. 2 of these on the battlefield at once? Oh, I hope I can get a highlight video of that for you guys. Oh my god. Can you imagine kicking anything and making your do a 5/5, getting 2/2/2 flyers? Holy shit. And they're like a built-in package, right? Because I could play one and then I could kick the other one, right? So you get 2/2/2 Drakes with that package. Oh my god. I'll get this shit out of here. I do not want this. Rabbit Bite, right? Do I have one of these? I'll take one of these because there's just no way. I mean, I don't think I'm playing either of them, but yes, we did. We wheeled it. Okay, so we're gonna have a little bit of fun making this deck. Now I'm figuring out what we can do because we have a lot of playables. Hey, we got a kicker spell at the very end. So yeah, real quick, I wanted to go over the deck and where we ended up, what we cut and what we kept in. We did take out one of the Dauntless Survivors, so we only have 2 now. We did leave in 1 Mighty Marasa just for the kicker. We ended up with 10 kicker spells. I also took out one of the Risen Riptides. It felt like 3 was a lot for just an 05. And I was just a little worried about the amount of kicker I have. I'll see if I stick with this deck list. I did do a total of 18 lands. There's 15 basics and then the 3 dual-faced cards. Swarm Shambler doesn't really go with our deck at all. It does have some good interaction as far as just keeping bodies around, but I'm not actually sure that's what we want to be doing. It's almost like, you know, would I be better with the Dauntless Survivor or even just another Mighty Marasa just to have stuff? I'm pretty worried about big creatures, so we'll see how that plays out. We only have 2 removal spells in Rabid Bite and in the rare we have, which we're going to want to be kicking a lot of times as well. So we definitely want to be going big. I was debating having the 1/4 reach, also having the 1/3 with landfall that gains you life. Those feels like good cards for keeping yourself alive for a while. But I thought with all the 2/2 Drakes I'm going to be trying to make, I'll be pretty good as far as protection in the air. And I felt like my curve is still pretty dang low. Obviously, it has kicker, but also these guys having flying and defender and being 2/3. You know, I think I've got some good some good blockers that eventually I can win the game in the air. So we'll see how it goes. So to start off this set, I just want to talk again about these double-faced land cards, because you can see here's a hand where usually that'd be an island, and you know that would actually be a fine thing because I'd have a blue source, but just great here that I do have the option of having a spell. In game 1 here, you can see we ended up getting to kick a Taunting Arbor Mage, and we're able to make one of our creatures where his whole board has to block it. So you can see how congested this board state had gotten. It's just a great way to break up all the traffic that he has to block that and figure out the math himself. By figure out the math, I mean I figured out the math, I'm going to win. I'm a little cheeky here. I don't know exactly what I'm worried about happening, that I rearrange the blockers, but we get the win there, and we start off 1-0 going in game 1. Then for game 2, we get some pretty sweet synergies going on here. We get our Oran Reef Ooze, put a counter on him. He already had a counter, but that allowed me to get that attack, and then I knew I was going to get this Dauntless Survivor coming up. Put a counter on the Ooze, and every time they attack, you put another counter. So now I'm swinging with 2 4/4s on turn 4. And specifically, I've got this Might of Marasa as well in my back pocket that my opponent doesn't know about yet. He's about to get blown the hell out, so we can watch that happen. God. I mean, it's brutal. Like, it is just a hell of a start when you're able to get those synergies going. Now, it does have that effect where it's going to keep me tapped, but my opponent has seen enough after this, and he is just like, good game, I'm out of here. So we start off going 2-0. Third game, you can see the hand I kept. This is where the dual lands are a little tricky, because actually this is like a 5-land hand with 2/3 drops that are pretty slow. I probably shouldn't have kept this. My opponent had this 3/1 creature that he can bring back from the graveyard every time he drops a land, and he equipped a bunch of equipment on it. He put a lot of equipment on it, and it was just like too oppressive, too aggressive. He was just swinging with this 5/3, 5/1, 3/1, all these things. Just not fun. He was able to kick it. So we lost that game to his aggressive strategy. Next game, fourth game, you can see here he does this Vastwood Surge. Oh, yeah. He got 2+1/+1 counters on all of his creatures on this big board state. I was actually feeling pretty good. You see our life totals here. I was feeling pretty good having my flyer, and him only having a 3/3 flyer. But he also has the Iridescent Horn Beetle, and you can see he gets a 1/1 insect for every counter he puts on. So he got 12 insects that turn. Next turn he goes into attack. I'm trying to figure out the math here, if I can win or not, and it ends up that I can't win. I don't know this at the time, because he is going to finish with 3 blockers, and we did have 7 blockers. I don't know why I didn't block with my 2/3 and my 4/5. I did count up exacties on damage to make sure I blocked enough. I think I was concentrating more on that and making sure I had creatures left over. But because he's going to be left with 3 blockers, we could have only done 8 damage in this next turn. So we couldn't have won anyway, but definitely still some misplays. And again, he gets that blocker because of... There's a damn bug in my camera right now. He gets that blocker because of the beetle. So next game, we're playing against a red-white aggro deck, and again we get to play this Taunting Arbor Mage, so that won us a few games. You can see the power here with the Riptide, essentially making it unblockable. He's at 8 life. When we attack with both these creatures, it's going to become a 9/9, and we're just going to take him out. So Arbor Mage won us 2 games. Seems like a pretty powerful effect when you consider the bonuses you can get for doing kicker things, as well as the fact that it can end the game. One thing you'll notice is we have not gone to cast our Roost of Drakes, but here in game 6 we finally do get to cast it. But we had 2 of them. I was like really hoping to really live that life and live that dream. We do finally get to do it in game 6. We are pretty far ahead on the board state right now, and I'm feeling pretty great, especially since I have that Gnarlid Colony in my hand. I'm going to be able to kick next turn. And my opponent's going to lose here for sure. But he did have a surprise for us. I was kind of looking away. I'd assumed I'd won the game and eat. So he takes the Broken Wings, takes on my flyer. I'm like, oh. And again, I'm not really paying attention. I'm just hearing sounds, and I come back, and what the hell? That's 2 Broken Wings in the main deck? In the main deck of a best of 1 game? So, I mean, my opponent did end up losing. And this is the final game, game 7. It was pretty back and forth. My opponent was control-y. They were a blue-white control-y deck with some rogue synergies that drew him cards, and they just drew so many more cards than I drew. I was swinging out for the win here because he had no blockers at the time. I could get 5 damage in and then hope he doesn't have a blocker for my 4-5 next turn. You can see I have a low life. Here I'm going for the Jwari Disruption to try and blow out his 3-3 just in case he can't read the card and wants to do a 1-1. But no, wants to do a 1-1. Doesn't, gets confused by the card and loses. But no, that didn't happen, did it? So we went 4-3. Pretty happy with that result for our first draft of ZNR Rising. Would have liked a few more wins. Our deck did feel pretty powerful, but I think there are just going to be a lot of powerful decks. I think there's going to be a lot of viable color pairings in this format. We'll see if that plays out. Lots of mechanics, which I love. And hope you all enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all later. Bye.